Hi everyone! So we received a few questions on how we taught the boys how to down and stay while we eat, just so that they're not in our face or trying to eat our food. And then also how we taught them to down and stay while we're just like walking around the house and are not able to pay attention to them, but we want them out and not in their room crate. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so we have Nico and Milo, our good boys, sometimes. Anyways, so I have a list of things that I wanted to talk about because I was going to forget. What we are going to do first is just how I was mentioning in our stories, how we have them down and stay while we're eating. That takes a lot of patience, and we didn't do this in like the matter of 2 days or even a week. Like, it just takes time and practice and consistency. But anyways, so the first thing we did with that is I think your puppy would need to, not I think, I kind of know, your puppy would need to know down first. If your pup does not know down, there are a variety of YouTube videos that you can watch on how to teach your puppy down. Usually it's just having a treat in your hand and kind of luring them down and then out. Who did I watch to learn down?
Someone from YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of people from YouTube. And then also our trainer, like, I'll actually put our trainer's information in the box. The family is just, they're amazing. I can't speak highly of them enough. But anyways, teaching your puppy down. After down, then that's when you can work on the stay. With stay, a lot of people ask like, how long do you have them staying? I say you can start with even seconds because their attention span is like beyond small. We did not originally start with treats just because we didn't want them to always depend on treats. So I would say go treats and praise. And by praise, I don't mean just like, oh my gosh, good boy. No, like if you feel silly, perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is they're already down. I didn't tell them down. So I'm just gonna keep them how they are. Actually, no, I'm not. So you can understand what I'm talking about. So Nico, Milo, Alice, good boys, good boys. Okay, Miko, Milo, come. Miko, you too. Good boys, good boys, good boys. Alrighty, so take that because that's my notes. So I'm just gonna have them sit. Good boy. Good boy. Also, another thing. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you're so mean, you shouldn't do that. I understand that, and I kind of see where you're coming from. But in the beginning of your training, if you are not stern, I should say, how do I want to explain it? The more stern you are in the beginning, the less stern you'll have to be when they get older. Simple as that. So like how Miko is down, and I did not ask him to be down. You just want to correct them. He's lazy, so that's what we really have to pay attention to him. Yeah. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is just tell the boys down. Tell the boys down, and then if you are working with a smaller pup, it's okay to start 5 seconds. I'll let you know what I mean by a smaller pup. They're down, and our words are different from everyone else's words. I think I might have to kind of bleep out what we say because it's like training specific. I'm not sure. We'll see. Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do is they're gonna stay. If you were a puppy, like a tiny little bitty puppy, I would just say, okay, no stay. Walk away, literally 2 seconds. Ooh, like something like that. Our boys we've been working with them a lot. So I should be able to walk around, pick up the remote, do some exercises, I don't know, open up the window, not window, whatever this is. Ooh, it's nice and cold. and they should stay how they are. That's a good boys. That's a good boys. This was a good one. Okay, so how do you know when you're pushing them a little bit too much? That was a good question. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I am not a dog trainer or anything like that. I'm like a YouTube 101 dog trainer. Like, maybe. But pretty much is, I think you and your dog will get to know each other a lot. So like Eugene and I know Milo is very toy motivated, 100% toys. Miko is definitely more food motivated. So that alone helps us in our training. Now with learning how much time we can gradually add on, that is also something that we had to learn. They're completely different dogs. Like, it's kind of funny. So Milo definitely cannot sit and down for as long as what Miko can. Milo always wants to know what's going on. He literally wants to be attached to my hip. Miko, on the other hand, can take a nap. And I think one thing that we love and adore about our dogs is, like, if we're asking them to chill and we're doing something, they can do like this. Like, oh, bless you. I think that was a sneeze. I don't know what
this usually comes, you know, if we start vacuuming or if we're watching a movie and we tell them to stay and they realize, all right, we're about to be here for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
Then they just lay down.
Pretty much. So one thing that we did to just add this in our daily life is, like Eugene was saying, when we vacuum, when we're cleaning, when we're working. So in the beginning, we would always have them in their crate during our work day, take them out to the bathroom, and then when we're done, we would play with them. But like small things during the day to help them feel comfortable knowing like we won't always be playing with them, but they are able to be out and look at what we're doing or sit by the window and things like that. Small things during the day just helps.
And
yep.
It helps them realize that it's not necessary. Like we view it as training,
right?
But they just view it as
just
my
life.
Mom and dad told me to sit here.
Right, pretty much. And that's kind of what I was.
They're learning
exactly.
while we're training, but they're not looking at it as like, oh, I'm going to school.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is like it might seem like we're being mean for walking in and not giving them a huge hug as much as I want to, as much as we want to. That's just something that we're not trying to create, like separation anxiety, 100% not trying to create. We can keep them in their cage, walk away.
I'm sorry, look at his stretch.
I know, goodness gracious. We can keep them in their cage, walk away, go outside, take the trash out, leave, and come back, and come in, and they're just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, we're happy to see you, but it's not like that crying when we leave. Anyways, so what was another question? Oh, how to teach a release word. So in the beginning, so our previous pup that we had, his release word was okay. And we just loved it because it was simple. It was just beyond easy.
He was a golden retriever.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, he's the sweetest pie. But with these boys, we were like, okay, we kind of want something like sweet. Like, okay, was nice, but like what is something you don't hear as often. So that's why we went with at ease. And that's just like a little story behind that. But you can pick any release word you want. Free, okay, whoop-de-doo. Like, I would try and keep it simple, but it literally can be any word, number, letter, it doesn't matter.
As Casey comes in, they still stay. Good boys.
Want to play with the boys? Yeah, okay. So as you can probably tell just by our Instagram and stories alone, we are very honest and real people. So my nephew has to be in this video because he just woke up and he's a little tired, right? Right. Anyways, so the other thing that someone asked is like how to teach a release word. And again, all of this is just my opinion and what we did with our boys, but with any release word that you want to do, what we started and how we started training is always having our dogs on a leash while we're in our apartment. And the reason that is because if we do give them a command and they don't listen, we can correct them instead of repeating what we're saying 50,000 times and they're just not listening to what we're saying. So in the beginning when we had our release word, we would put their, again, they would have their collar on, we would put their leash on, and if we would say like, Eddie's, Eugene and I would move around so that they know, okay, this means I can move. They're such good boys because they're not moving even though I'm saying it. But yeah, so that's just pretty much how we taught them, is if we had them in a sit, and again, it can be for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you and your pup feel most comfortable with. We would just have them doing a command, and then at the end of the command, we would say our release word and do like a big type of move so that they know it's okay. And eventually down the line, we don't have to like wave our hands in the air and say the release word at the same time.
One other way that we did it was we would keep their leash on, and when we take off the leash, I would usually say at ease, so that way they realize we're inside the house. You know, I'm taking the leash off, and now you can, you know, run around a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Either way.
Yeah. If we missed anything, like, please feel free. And if you asked a question and then I did not answer it, or like that was not the answer that you were looking for, or I just like rambled and said something, like, please let us know, because I would feel more than comfortable letting you know kind of what we taught. And then if you ask any questions that our trainers have taught us, that would be something that I would pretty much just recommend you talking to them, because they are the professionals, and everything that I talk about is like stuff that we did in the very beginning without professional training, and then just adding on professional training. Even though it was an investment, we invested in our pups and we want them to invest in us. So that is why we started going to professional training, right? He's so tired. So anyways, like I said, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you do have any questions, just please feel free to let us know. Boys, Eddie's. Good boys. You want to play with Cash? He's so tired. Oh. Want to play with him? Yeah, okay.